Tyler the Creator, Don't Tap the Glass, album review. Let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It. Music Reviews Season 11. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show, guys. We got a great episode for you today because, I've been thinking, should I do some more single reviews for the week? Should I, cover some Metro Boomin or some shit like that? And then I realized something, guys. I'm just kind of do the stuff that I really want to do right now because, my main focus, it won't be the music show for quite a while, guys. So, I'm just going to be doing stuff that I really want to do, but, I still want to do stuff that makes good content, guys. And we got Tyler the Creator because I've been talking about this man since, a week ago. We did, 3-track reviews. I had my thoughts about the album. And this is kind of a quick rollout. This is that one of those instances where, you don't put a lot more time into that slow kind of rollout. Maybe you make a more grander album with the slower rollout. This is more of a vibe. This is something you play in the background. If you don't mess with it, you don't mess with it. But guys, I'm always going to give my opinion, no matter goddamn what. So we got Tyler the Creator, Don't Tap the Glass. This song actually... this whole album, by the way, is 10 songs long, which I do appreciate. 10 songs long, this shit gonna feel great, to get through. This is 28 minutes long, so the length is not bad at all. It's just 28 minutes of your day, which is pretty awesome. So let's get into this album, guys. I got some overall thoughts, starting off with my first thought, and, I'll just explain, before I even go into my first thought, I will just explain what my album reviews, how the format is. But guys, I will not explain my format with the 2 other album reviews are coming out this week. I'll only explain it on this episode. So guys, how I do album reviews, we're going to be doing 3 overall points. I'm going to be talking about my 3 overall points about the whole entire album. And then we're going to go into every single track. I'm going to give my thoughts about every single track. And I'm going to rate every single track 1 out of 5. And then I'm going to give my overall thoughts at the end and my final score. So, guys, let's get into this album review. Starting off with the first point, let's talk about the production of this album. I honestly think, as we think about it with Tyler the Creator, as we go from Chrometopia, I do like Chrometopia, I do like that whole, sound, but, Chrometopia is a big album, it's not Tyler the Creator's last album before that, in the 2017 days where he had some songs where it was, that fucking vibe, you could play that shit anywhere, you could vibe out to that shit goddamn anywhere. It doesn't matter, but when you got an album like Chrometopia that's this big, grand, you need to, listen to every single track, or there's only a couple of songs that I would listen to on my own free time, it's an album that you can't really go back to in a public setting. I'm not saying privately. Privately is a whole different world, but if we're talking about public settings of albums, if you want to play an album outside or some shit like that, I'm not necessarily playing Tyler the Creator's music. And so I think, having an album like this, Don't Tap the Glass, which is supposed to be this dance, I would say this trap, this dance, this kind of funky, having elements of older samples of, older songs, using that, what's it called? Using that machine voice, it's that, voice. It's that voice thing, it makes that robot effect on your voice. I forgot what it's called, guys. I'm not going to look it up right now. But you know what I'm meaning. It's that voice that, it's just that voice. And I just, I hear all these elements, and I honestly think, guys, I really enjoy all these goddamn elements. Even though I couldn't say what the name was of that element, I really enjoyed that element. And I liked how it was throughout the whole entire song, too. Some songs, it had it, some songs it didn't, And then you have these luscious instrumentals that just feel so lively. Drums feel so lively. These different beat switches that just goddamn happen on this whole entire album, which is just absolutely fantastic to listen to. Guys, I really enjoyed the overall production of this album. There's also some beats on here that sound hard as hell. There's some moments where the 808s on this album just fucking absolutely hit. So I really do enjoy the vibe of this whole entire album. You know, I really like the sounds. I would say the last track is where, you know, instrumental wise, I'm not really, you know, messing with it too much. But for the overall entire album, I'm really enjoying the vibes here, how addicting the hooks can easily be with such great production. So now let's move on to my second point, guys, and let's talk about Tyler, the Creator, his performance. I will say this. I really think Tyler, the Creator had such a strong start on this album. You know, there's only a couple of tracks on this 10-track album that I just, you know, didn't really mess with. And I will go into those tracks later in this review. But I will say overall for the performance here, the rapping was absolutely on point. The different flow switches that he was hitting was going absolutely crazy. Then there was these dance kind of pop tracks, like, you know, Sugar on My Tongue, which, you know, the singing was absolutely fantastic. You know, the background vocals, the vibe of the instrumental, the way you could just groove to this track. There's tracks like that. Then there's like Ring Ring, which I really enjoy the R&B vibes that you get from that song. So, you know, there's so many different, you know, moments of Tyler, the Creator on here, but I will say, for all these different moments, I think it's a really great overall performance. Now, there was some features, like pharrel, and I think there was one at the end of the track, which, let me look. Yeah, we got pharrel. We had a feature, I guess, for Madison McFerrin, which she was the one singing, which she absolutely killed it. We had I'll Take Care of You, which is Yeba. Yeba did her thing. They did their thing on here too. So I would say overall features were really great too. I mean, this is a pretty strong star-studded cast, you know. Pharrell did his thing on here, and then you have the two, like, I would say female, you know, hook kind of singers, you know, they did their thing on here. So yeah, features were overall pretty good too. So guys, let's move on now, and let's go over every single track off this album. 10 songs, 28 minutes, starting off with the first track, Big Poe, featuring Pharrell Williams. I mean, the beat on here was absolutely fantastic. You know, the way he was rapping on here. I really like how that sample comes in and just interacts with the whole entire beat. Pharrell coming in here just, you know, providing a really great verse too. This is such a great, strong start that easily is getting a 5 out of 5. Sugar on My Tongue. This is another one where the instrumental is so good. You know, the dance vibes are absolutely there. You know, this hook easily gets stuck in your head. The singing from Tyler, the Creator on here, just absolutely fantastic. Synth sounding so great on here. 5 out of 5. Sucker Free. Sucker Free is another track that I just really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the vocals on here. I loved how the hook just easily gets stuck in your head. I like all the different, you know, vibes of the vocals. My only gripe about this song is the rapping. So there's this second rap verse where, you know, he kind of switches his vocals, and it kind of just feels like he's talking. He does like the Kendrick Lamar, like, talking with like a higher pitched like voice, and I understand Kendrick Lamar does it, and I don't like it when Kendrick Lamar does it either. I'll just be goddamn real with y'all. I honestly don't like what Kendrick Lamar when he does this like weird voice. So Tyler, the Creator, also doing this weird voice, I did not enjoy that. So that's my only gripe about this track, but this track is absolutely fantastic. Sucker Free is getting an easy 4 out of 5. Not Stop Playing With Me. We got to go over to, we got Mama Ma'am, and I really enjoyed this track. I wish there was actually a beat drop, you know, it was, you know, setting up for some great rapping, you know, but I understand, you know, then you got Stop Playing With Me, which Stop Playing With Me is a hard-ass rap track. Hard-ass rap track. I mean, the fucking 808s on this song, the drums alone on this song, the fucking rapping from Tyler, the goddamn Creator here, just absolutely fucking hits. Easy 5 out of 5. Then you got Ring Ring Ring, which, guys, I couldn't stop replaying Ring Ring Ring. I remember when that track came on, and I just kept hitting the rewind button just over and over and over. I said, you know, one more time. I'll write the review, guys, for the Ring Ring review, but one more time. And I just got addicted to the hook. I got addicted to the vocals. I really like the background vocals. I like the interactability of Ring Ring Ring. Easy 5 out of 5. Don't Tap the Glass / Tweakin' is a track that I don't really enjoy. Again, you know, we're getting into that territory where it's a lot of the talking. And there was some talking on this album for Tyler, the Creator, but there's a little bit too much talking on Don't Tap the Glass, and I don't like the hook. The hook is too repetitive. So this one's just getting a 3 out of 5. Don't You Worry Baby. This is a pretty good track. I would say 4 out of 5. I really like the feature. I like what Tyler, the Creator, doing on the background vocals. I'll Take Care of You, a really great track too. Production was just absolutely fantastic. You know, those drums just coming in, providing such great value. I really enjoyed this track too. Just an easy 4 out of 5. I'll Take Care of You, featuring Yeva, which I'll Take Care of You was one of the, I would say is a banger. Not I'll Take Care of You, guys. I messed up. As y'all know, I'm talking about Tell Me What It Is. And this is why I'm talking about Tell Me What It Is. Because Tell Me What It Is a great final track. And sometimes I get I'll Take Care of You, Tell Me What It Is kind of mixed up when I talk about them. But Tell Me What It Is the one that I enjoy. I really enjoy the vocals. I really enjoy how that production just sounds absolutely fantastic. The rise, the singing from Tyler, the Creator. Just a great track to end off. And then it ends off with that final robot, you know, little voice thing. So guys, overall, when we talk about this album, when we talk about Tyler, the Creator, Don't Tap the Glass, I would say for a quick, you know, little put together, I'm not going to say this is a quick put together. I'm going to say this is like for a quick rollout, for a quick, you know, just, you know, getting the song out as quick as you can, etc., etc., etc. For all of that, I'm going to say this. I really enjoyed this album. There was only a couple of tracks which I wouldn't necessarily play in public, but other than that, this overall album was was a really great refresher. And, you know, I think when you think about it, guys, I really hope that Tyler, the Creator, as this man gets older, as this man, you know, creates music, guys, I'm hoping this man, you know, can just reach into his R&B bag. I hope this man can just give, like, a full-ass, like, pop and R&B album. And I'm talking about some real fucking R&B. Ring Ring Ring's great. But I'm talking about some real R&B. I'm talking about some, you know, I want Tyler, the Creator, to sing his goddamn chest out. You know, I need that type of, you know, because I think Tyler, the Creator, can easily do it. I really think so. You know, there's some tracks on Chrometopia that, you know, proves it. There's some tracks on here on this album that proves it. I hope that this man keeps involving his music, keeps going fucking crazy. And yeah, guys, I overall really enjoyed my whole time with this album. I'm easily going to give this album an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, guys. What y'all think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. We're dropping new content every single goddamn day. I'll see y'all later. You have a good one. Bye.